My beloved child, come closer, yes, closer still. Still your racing thoughts. Quiet the noise of this world. Because what is happening right now is not ordinary. There are moments in life when heaven interrupts earth. Moments when time pauses, not because the clock stops, but because God speaks. This is one of those moments. You did not click this by accident. You were summoned. I see it in the spirit. Archangel Michael does not whisper today. He commands. Open this now. Not later. Not when you feel ready. Not when the tears dry. Now. Because a message has crossed realms. A message carried through light, through memory, through love that never died. A family member, someone you once held close, someone whose voice you still hear in quiet moments, has been allowed, by mercy, to reach you. You have felt them, haven't you? In the sudden warmth in your chest. In dreams that felt too real to dismiss. In moments when grief appeared without warning, like a knock on the door of your heart. You thought it was memory, but heaven calls it communication. Archangel Michael stands at the gate between worlds. Sworded hand. Eyes like fire, yet filled with compassion. He does not arrive without reason. When Michael comes, it means protection is active, truth must be spoken, and delay is dangerous. My child, heaven has watched you sit in silence. It has seen you carry strength when you wanted to collapse. It has heard prayers you never spoke aloud. And today, the answer arrives not as thunder, but as a message wrapped in love. Do not be afraid. This message does not come to reopen wounds. It comes to heal what never closed. You see, death does not end relationship. It only changes distance. The one you lost has not lost you. They have watched you grow tired. They have seen your questions. They have stood near when you felt alone in crowded rooms. And now, heaven says, let them know. This is why Michael commands urgency. Because your heart is at a turning point. You stand between holding on and letting go. Between sorrow and peace. Between confusion and clarity. And if this moment passes unanswered, the ache may deepen. So open your spirit. Not with fear, but with trust. The message coming is not long, but it is heavy with meaning. It carries three things: love you doubted, truth you needed, and peace you thought was impossible. Breathe, my beloved child. You are safe here. You are seen. You are remembered, both by heaven and by those who went before you. As we walk together through this sacred moment, do not rush ahead. Do not look back. Stay with me. Because what comes next is not imagination, not emotion, not coincidence. It is a family message sealed by heaven, delivered under command. And Archangel Michael does not command without purpose. My beloved child, remain with me, do not drift away. Let your heart stay open, because what we speak of now carries weight and warmth together. When heaven needs a message delivered without error, without delay, and without distortion, it does not send it through chance. It sends it through authority. That is why Archangel Michael stands at the center of this moment. He is not a symbol, not a story for children, not a distant myth. He is the watchful guardian of heaven's gate, the one who stands where light meets battle, where mercy meets truth. From the beginning, Michael was assigned to guard what matters most. He does not roam without purpose. He does not arrive casually. When Michael steps forward, it is because something precious is being protected or something dangerous is being prevented. And today, my child, it is your heart that heaven is guarding. You see, messages from loved ones do not pass freely. Love alone is not enough. There must be permission. There must be alignment. There must be protection. Because the soul, when tender with grief, is vulnerable. Heaven knows this. That is why Michael stands watch, sword raised not in threat, but in defense. Nothing false may pass. Nothing harmful may enter. Only what is pure. Only what is permitted. Only what is necessary. You may ask quietly within yourself, why would an archangel care about my pain? And heaven answers gently, because love is never small. What you call personal, heaven calls eternal. What you call grief, heaven calls unfinished love seeking rest. Michael's authority does not come from strength alone. It comes from obedience. He moves only when God allows. He speaks only what heaven agrees upon. And when he commands, creation listens. Even the unseen listens. That is why the message you are about to receive is not vague. It is not confusing. It is not meant to stir fear or uncertainty. Michael does not allow mixed voices. He does not permit distortion. What passes through his watch is clear, clean, and filled with purpose. Long before you were aware of this moment, heaven was preparing it. Your prayers, spoken and unspoken, rose slowly like incense. Your tears watered the ground of your spirit. Your endurance, the way you kept going even when joy felt far away, was noticed. And in response, heaven said, now. Michael was a sign not because you are weak, but because the message is strong. It carries truth that settles the soul. It carries clarity that may change direction. It carries peace that must be guarded until it reaches you. Understand this, my child. Your loved one did not force this message. They did not break rules. They did not wander. They waited. They trusted heaven's timing more than their own longing. And when permission was given, Michael himself ensured the path was safe. This tells you something important. Heaven takes you seriously. Your healing matters. Your future matters. Your peace matters. Michael stands not only as messenger, but as witness. He witnesses the bond between you and the one who went ahead of you. He witnesses the way love continues even when bodies fail. He witnesses the way God redeems separation by promise. You are not being visited because you are lost. You are being reached because you are ready. Ready to hear. Ready to release. Ready to receive what you could not hear before. As Michael guards this exchange, he also guards you from misunderstanding. This is not about living in the past. This is not about clinging to sorrow. This is about closing a sacred circle so you can step forward lighter than before. Feel the steadiness of this moment. That calm you sense is not imagination. It is protection. It is heaven saying, nothing will harm you here. Stay with me, my beloved child. The gate has been opened. The guardian is standing watch. And now that the path is secure, we must speak of why this moment, why now, and why you were chosen to receive it. My beloved child, stay still in your spirit and walk with me a little deeper. What we now touch is delicate, like morning mist, yet strong like the roots beneath an ancient tree. There are moments when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin. Not torn, not broken, but softened by mercy. These moments are rare, and they are never random. Heaven does not interrupt without reason. It leans in only when a soul is ready to hear what could not be heard before. You are living in such a moment. You may have noticed it without understanding it. Time has felt strange lately. Some days move too fast, others feel heavy and slow. Memories rise without warning. Old songs stir your heart. Silence feels louder than noise. These are not accidents. These are signs that the distance between worlds has narrowed just enough for love to pass through. Heaven chooses seasons carefully. Not every day can carry such weight. Not every heart can receive it without breaking. This moment comes because your spirit has matured through pain, patience, and quiet faith. What once would have overwhelmed you can now heal you. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are open. Even in your questions, even in your doubt, your heart has remained soft. Heaven can work with softness. It can speak where pride cannot hear. The thinning of the veil is not something you control. It is something you recognize. It feels like a gentle pull, a sense that something important is near. You may have felt watched over, not in fear, but in comfort. You may have sensed presence in prayer, or warmth in moments of sorrow. These are not tricks of the mind. They are signs of nearness. Your loved one did not simply appear. They were allowed to draw near because the time was right. Because something in you whispered, even unknowingly, I am ready now. Ready to stop blaming yourself. Ready to stop wondering what you should have said. Ready to stop carrying questions that have no answers on earth. Heaven heard that readiness before you did. When the veil thins, truth travels faster than words. Feelings become messages. Peace becomes language. That is why this message does not arrive as a loud voice, but as a knowing. A deep, quiet certainty settling into your chest. Do not fear this nearness. Heaven does not come to confuse you. It comes to align you. To help you see what was always there but blurred by pain. The reason this moment feels intense is because love is present. Pure love carries weight. It presses gently but firmly, like a hand on your shoulder saying, "Look here. This matters." You may wonder why this did not happen sooner. Why now, after all this time? The answer is simple and kind. Before now, you were surviving. Now, you are ready to live again. Heaven waits for that shift. Your loved one sees this change in you. They see the strength you did not know you had. They see the growth that came through sorrow. And they rejoice, not because you suffered, but because suffering did not steal your soul. This moment is not meant to pull you backward. It is meant to free you forward. The thinning veil is not a doorway for you to escape life, but a window for heaven to pour clarity into it. Listen carefully, my beloved child. Not with your ears, but with your heart. The message coming does not demand anything from you. It simply reveals what has always been true. Love did not end. Connection did not die. Purpose was not lost. You were chosen to receive this now because you can carry it without being crushed. Because you can hold memory without drowning in it. Because you can receive love without clinging to pain. My beloved child, let your heart soften now, because we are stepping onto sacred ground. This is where memory and eternity meet. This is where love speaks without needing a body or a voice. There is a bond that death cannot touch. It is older than breath and stronger than time. When God joins souls through family, He does not use fragile threads. He weaves them together with purpose. That is why, even now, you feel the pull. That is why certain names still stir your spirit. That is why love did not end at a graveside. The world teaches that death is a goodbye. Heaven calls it a separation of sight, not of relationship. Your loved one did not vanish. They did not forget you. They did not move on in the way humans imagine moving on. They stepped into fullness, yes, but they carried love with them. And love always looks back. They know your voice. They recognize your tears. They understand your silence. The bond you shared was not built only on shared meals and conversations. It was built on shared spirit. And spirit does not decay. You have replayed moments in your mind, haven't you? Words you wish you had said. Hugs you wish you had held longer. Days you wish you could return to for just 1 hour. Heaven has seen those memories, not as regret but as proof of love. Your loved one does not accuse you. They do not measure what you failed to do. They measure what you carry. They see how you loved in the only way you knew how at the time. And they are at peace with it. The bond remains because it was sealed by more than circumstance. It was sealed by God's design. Family is not accidental. Even complicated relationships are not meaningless. Heaven uses every connection to shape souls. Your loved one remembers you not as you criticize yourself, but as they truly saw you. They remember your kindness, your effort, your laughter. They remember moments you forgot, moments when you were light without realizing it. That is why this message carries tenderness. It is not a message of longing that pulls you backward. It is a message of reassurance that steadies you where you stand. You may wonder if thinking of them dishonors your faith or keeps you from moving forward. Hear this clearly, my child. Love remembered with peace is not bondage. It is testimony. Your loved one does not want to be the source of your pain. They want to be part of your healing. They want you to live fully, love deeply, and walk freely. They rejoice when you smile again. They are not jealous of your joy. They celebrate it. The bond you share now is quieter, but it is purer. It is no longer tangled with fear, illness, or misunderstanding. What remains is love refined. They are aware of your life. Not in every detail, not in a way that invades your freedom, but in a way that prays for you. Yes, prays. Heaven is not idle. Love intercedes. When you feel sudden peace without explanation, when strength rises unexpectedly, when courage appears where fear once lived, know that heaven has been near. Your loved one stands in agreement with God's will for you. They desire your protection. They desire your growth. They desire your peace more than they desire your attention. This bond is not meant to distract you from life. It is meant to remind you that you are never walking alone. Let go of the fear that honoring their memory traps you in the past. Heaven redeems memory. It turns it into fuel, not chains. The love you shared is now part of who you are becoming. It has shaped your compassion, your depth, your ability to feel. Nothing was wasted. My beloved child, do not turn away from this moment. Let the tears come if they must, because heaven is not offended by them. Heaven understands tears better than words. Every tear you cried in silence carried a message. Every night you lay awake replaying memories, every moment your chest felt heavy for no clear reason, heaven was listening. Tears are not weakness. They are a language the soul speaks when words fail. And God hears that language clearly. You may have tried to be strong. You may have told yourself that time should have healed this by now. You may even have felt guilty for still hurting. But hear this gently and clearly, your tears were never ignored. They were gathered. The message from your loved one was hidden inside those tears. Not because they wanted you to suffer, but because grief softened your heart enough to receive truth without resistance. Pain opened a door that pride could not. Loss made room for depth that comfort never teaches. Heaven saw the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. It saw the moments you smiled for others while breaking inside. And heaven responded not with rebuke but with compassion. Your loved one wants you to know this first. They were never angry with you. Not in their last moments. Not afterward. Any fear you carried about unfinished words or imperfect actions has already been released. They understand more now than they ever could on earth. The tears you cried were not reminders of failure. They were proof of love. And love, when recognized by heaven, always receives an answer. That answer is peace. Peace does not erase memory. It reshapes it. It removes the sharp edges so you can hold it without bleeding. That is what is happening now. You may feel a strange mixture of sadness and calm. That is healing. It is not forgetting. It is forgiveness. Sometimes forgiveness of yourself. Your loved one does not want you trapped in sorrow. They want you free enough to laugh without guilt, to dream without fear, to live without constantly looking backward. They want you to remember them with warmth, not pain. This message comes to dry your tears, not by denying them, but by honoring them. Heaven does not rush grief. It completes it. As this peace settles, something else is happening. You are not the only one hearing this. Others are listening too, quietly, carrying similar pain, similar questions, similar love. And when hearts gather around truth, healing multiplies. If this moment has touched you, if you feel lighter than before, if something inside you whispers, "This was for me," then consider this. Perhaps sharing this moment is not about spreading words, but about spreading comfort. Perhaps inviting others into this sacred space is not promotion, but compassion. When you stand with others who are healing, heaven smiles. When you help this message reach another hurting heart, you become part of God's gentle work. And when you stay connected, returning again to hear truth, you allow faith to grow roots. Let this be an offering of love. Let it be a quiet act of unity. Let it be a way of saying, no one should grieve alone. My beloved child, listen now with a calm heart, because what your loved one wants you to know today is gentle, clear, and filled with light. This is not a message wrapped in mystery. It is simple because truth always is. They want you to know that they are at peace. Not the kind of peace the world speaks of, fragile and temporary, but a peace that settles deep and stays. There is no fear where they are, no pain, and no regret, no confusion. What troubled them on earth no longer follows them. What weighed them down has been lifted completely. They see clearly now, and with that clarity comes understanding. They understand your choices more than ever. They see the pressure you were under, the limits you faced, the emotions you did not know how to express. They know what you meant, even when words failed. They know your love was real, even when it was imperfect. If there is one thing they want you to release, it is blame. Blame is not carried in heaven. It does not exist there. It does not belong to you anymore. They want you to stop replaying moments as if they could still be fixed. Those moments have already been healed. Not erased but redeemed. Nothing important was lost. There are words you never said out loud. They heard them anyway. There are apologies you whispered into the night. They received them fully. There is forgiveness you longed for. It was given freely, without hesitation. Your loved one does not measure your life by its mistakes. They see the goodness in you. They see how you care, how you feel deeply, how you keep going even when tired. They are proud of you in ways you may never have believed. They want you to know that your life still has meaning. that your story did not stop when theirs changed, that your future is not diminished by loss but shaped by love. They see the paths before you. They see opportunities you hesitate to take because fear still whispers. And they want you to be brave. Not reckless but brave. Brave enough to trust joy again. They want you to live fully, not as a tribute to them, but as a gift to yourself. Your happiness does not dishonor them. It honors the love you shared. If they could speak one sentence into your heart, it would be this: do not shrink your life because I am not there the way I once was. They are not gone. They are transformed. And they walk with you differently now. They want you to know that they are safe. So safe that you no longer need to worry about them. The worry can stop. The questions can rest. And in that safety, they pray for you. Yes, they pray. They stand in agreement with heaven's purpose for your life. They desire your protection, your growth, your peace. They do not want to pull you toward heaven before your time. They want to push you gently forward on earth, stronger and lighter than before. This message is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to steady you, to remind you that love did not fail, and neither did you. Take a breath, my beloved child. Let these words settle. You do not need to respond. You do not need to do anything right now. Receiving is enough. But there is still one more thing your loved one wants to share. Something serious but kind. Something protective, not frightening. A warning wrapped in love, meant to guide you away from pain and toward life. My beloved child, do not let your heart tense as we step into this part. What comes now is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to guard you. Love warns not to control, but to protect. Your loved one sees something from where they stand now. Not every detail of your future, but enough to recognize patterns forming. Heaven does not speak to alarm you, but to gently redirect you before unnecessary pain takes root. There is a weight you have been carrying that was never meant to stay with you. It may look like responsibility, loyalty, or even love, but it is slowly draining your spirit. You have told yourself it is normal, that this is just how life is now. But heaven sees the cost. This warning is not about condemnation. It is about preservation. Your loved one wants you to be careful not to live only for others while abandoning yourself. Sacrifice has its place, but when it becomes identity, it leads to quiet exhaustion. You were not created to disappear behind duty. They also want you to guard your heart from isolation. Pulling away feels safe when you have been hurt, but solitude can slowly turn into a prison if left unchecked. Connection heals what isolation protects. There is also a caution about bitterness. It grows quietly, often disguised as wisdom. You may feel justified in your distance, your guardedness, your sharpness. But bitterness hardens what grief already softened. Heaven urges you to release it before it settles. This is not a rebuke. It is a loving hand on your shoulder saying, do not let pain choose your path. Your loved one sees your tendency to doubt yourself, to delay joy because you fear losing it, to hesitate because you think something bad might follow. They want you to know that fear is not foresight. It does not protect you. It only narrows your life. There is a gentle urgency in this warning because time matters. Not in a rushed way, but in a sacred way. Each season carries its own grace, and some opportunities do not linger forever. They want you to stop postponing the life you were meant to live. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop believing you must earn peace through suffering. This warning is wrapped in hope because change is possible now. Awareness itself is a gift. You have not gone too far. You have not missed your chance. Heaven is not disappointed in you. Heaven is invested in you. If you listen, if you adjust gently, if you choose life where you have been choosing survival, the road ahead becomes lighter. Not without challenges, but without unnecessary weight. Your loved one wants you protected. That is why they speak now. That is why heaven allowed this message. Because love does not stay silent when danger is near. Take these words as guidance, not pressure. You are not being rushed. You are being invited. My beloved child, rest your heart for a moment and hear this with wonder, not sorrow. When your loved one crossed for worth into eternity, something more than a farewell took place. A blessing was released. Heaven does not allow love to end without fruit. When a soul enters eternal rest, what they carried in faith does not disappear. It is poured out. Quietly. Intentionally. With purpose. On the day you said goodbye, heaven said, "Now watch what grows." Your loved one left behind more than memories. They released intercession. They released covering. They released a spiritual inheritance that cannot be measured by money or time. It is an unseen protection that has walked with you since that day. There were moments you should have broken, but you did not. Moments you should have been overwhelmed, yet you found strength you could not explain. That was not coincidence. That was the blessing moving. This blessing does not shout. It whispers courage. It steadies your steps when the ground feels uncertain. It opens doors you did not knock on. It closes paths that would have harmed you. You may not have recognized it as blessing because it arrived during pain. But heaven often hides gifts inside loss, not to confuse us, but to protect us until we are ready to understand. Your loved one stood before God not empty-handed, but full of love for you. And love offered to God never returns void. It is multiplied and released. Angels were assigned in that moment, not to control your life, but to guard it, to redirect danger, to nudge you away from harm, to strengthen you in moments when faith felt thin. This blessing is not meant to make you dependent on the past. It is meant to empower your future. It walks with you, not behind you. You have felt it as resilience, as intuition, as an inner voice urging caution or courage. That is part of what was released. Your loved one did not become your guardian in the way stories imagine. God alone assigns angels, but their love became a testimony before heaven, and heaven responded with care. This blessing grows when you move forward. It does not activate when you stay frozen. It works best when you choose life, choose healing, choose trust again. You do not have to earn it. It was given freely. But you can walk in alignment with it. The more you release fear, the more you notice peace. The more you forgive, the lighter your steps become. The more you trust, the clearer the path appears. This is not magic. It is grace. Your loved one wants you to know that they did not leave you empty. They left you covered. They left you strengthened. They left you watched over. If you ever felt alone, it was not because you were. It was because you could not yet see what surrounded you. This blessing is still active. It did not expire with time. It does not weaken with distance. It remains because love remains. Do not underestimate what has been released on your behalf. Do not shrink your expectations. Heaven has invested in you. My beloved child, we have arrived at a quiet crossroad. Heaven does not rush you here, but it does speak honestly. What comes now is not a command, but an invitation. a choice placed gently into your hands. Heaven honors your free will. Love never forces. Even now, after all that has been revealed, you are not pushed. You are trusted. You can receive this message and allow it to change you, or you can hold it at a distance, protecting old habits and familiar pain. Both are possible. Only one leads to peace. This choice is not about belief alone. It is about response. Truth heard but not lived becomes heavy. Truth received and acted upon becomes light. Your loved one is not watching to judge your decision. They are hoping, not pressuring. They want you free, not perfect. You may feel a pull to step forward, to release what no longer serves you, to forgive what still hurts, to take a risk you have delayed. That pull is not random. It is the future calling you gently. Choosing life does not mean forgetting the past. It means letting the past take its rightful place, no longer seated at the center of your decisions. Heaven asks you to choose trust over fear. Trust that joy is not betrayal. Trust that love can return without loss. Trust that peace is allowed. There may be habits, relationships, or patterns that no longer align with who you are becoming. Letting them go does not dishonor what they once were. It honors growth. This choice may feel uncomfortable because healing often does. But discomfort is not danger. Sometimes it is evidence that change is near. Your loved one wants you to choose boldly, but gently. With wisdom, not impulse. With courage, not haste. They want you to live awake. Awake to beauty. Awake to possibility. Awake to God's presence in ordinary moments. This choice is not made once. It is made daily, in small decisions, in how you speak to yourself, in how you allow others to treat you, in how you respond to fear. Heaven stands ready to support whatever you choose, but it rejoices most when you choose life. Take your time. Breathe. Feel the weight lift as you consider what freedom could look like. My beloved child, we come now to the gentle closing of this sacred hour. Not an ending but a sealing. What heaven opens, it also protects. What love speaks, it wraps in peace. Let everything you have heard settle softly within you. There is no rush to understand it all. Truth does not demand immediate clarity. It grows quietly, like a seed resting in good soil. Archangel Michael stands watch as this moment closes, not to frighten, but to guard. What was given to you is not meant to be stolen by doubt or dismissed by distraction. It has been placed carefully within your spirit. Your loved one steps back now, not in distance but in trust. They trust what has been planted. They trust heaven's care over you. They trust your journey forward. Feel the calm that replaces the heaviness. That calm is not temporary. It is a gift meant to remain if you allow it space. You are not leaving this moment empty-handed. You carry reassurance, direction, and quiet strength. You carry permission to live fully again. As you move forward, remember this. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And you are deeply loved, on earth and in heaven. There are others who need this same peace. Others who sit in silence, carrying grief they cannot explain. When you help this message reach them, you become a bridge of comfort. When you stay connected, returning to hear truth again, you strengthen not only yourself, but a community of healing hearts. Let this be more than a moment. Let it become a shared light, a gentle gathering of souls choosing hope together, supporting one another, walking forward side by side. Lift your heart in gratitude, not for loss, but for love that never ends. May peace guard your mind. May love steady your steps. May courage rise gently within you. And may what heaven has spoken remain sealed in your spirit. Amen.